Hi everybody, I'm Stephanie Morris. I'm Deputy Executive Director for Membership Engagement here at the National Association for the Education of Young Children. And I'm here today to talk a little bit about funding your way to annual conference. We are so excited for this year's annual conference in Atlanta, Georgia in November. We want everybody to attend, and we know that it can be difficult to manage the cost, so we're here today to give a few tips and tools on how to help you do that. So first, for some of you, I'm sure you may not be familiar with the annual conference. It is this year in Atlanta, as I said, November 15th through 18th. It is the largest early childhood education conference in the world. It's a lot of fun. We've also listed upcoming dates and locations for you to take note of, especially for those of you who might be in some of these locations. Why should you attend? There are so many reasons. These are just a few, but first and foremost, the networking and social events. You'll have opportunities to interact with leaders from the field and people from across the country that you would never otherwise have a chance to meet. And there are a ton of really fun celebratory events and moments at any given time throughout the conference. The expo is another really great feature. The expo, as we call it, or our exhibit hall, is huge and amazing. Just hundreds of vendors that are there to showcase and debut new products, new approaches, new tools, lots of freebies and giveaways. Typically in the expo, people line up to an hour in advance to enter, so be sure to check that out. There are a lot of advocacy opportunities. At the top picture of this screen, you'll see was taken of the walk that we organized. Early Ed for President. This was last year in Los Angeles, and people wore t-shirts and carried signs, and it was a really empowering moment. And we typically have a lot of those opportunities to make your voice heard throughout our annual conference, so that's another reason to attend. And then, of course, hundreds and hundreds of sessions presented by the field's best-known experts, all sorts of topics, including but definitely not limited to developmentally appropriate practice, technology in the classroom, social and emotional development, fostering family engagement, dual language learning, so much more. That's just a quick sample for those of you listening. So as I mentioned, we know that managing the cost of attending both registration, the travel, and the lodging can be a little bit difficult at times. So we have put together a toolkit with tools and tips to help you fundraise to attend our annual conference. They really cover three areas: asking your supervisor to help cover costs using professional development funds, asking local businesses for their support, and then asking for support from the families that you serve, whose students are in your classroom or in your center, because they can often be a great source of support. So I'll draw your attention to our online funding toolkit. If you haven't yet visited, I heavily encourage you to visit naeyc.org/conference/funding toolkit. The first section that I'll briefly touch on of our toolkit is convincing your boss. We know that first and foremost, it's really good to get your supervisor's support, both for your time out of the classroom and to tap into any professional development funds that may be available. So we've provided a template letter that you can certainly tweak and edit however you wish, but it's a good first start at language you can use to convince your boss about the importance of attending this event. We also have a section on convincing families for their support, and I'll just speak briefly that this is the first way that I got to know of NAEYC. As a parent myself, I led a fundraising effort to send the teachers in our lives to the annual conference one year. And I wrote this blog post about it, so I invite you to check that out when you have a minute. And in this section, we've also provided a sample letter to parents that, again, you can tailor and tweak, but which really calls on them to consider fundraising efforts they might lead or contributions they might make to support you attending. And then, of course, local businesses and community organizations who are really invested in the well-being of their community might be a great source of support. And so we've provided this sample letter to businesses that really lay out the importance and the value of your opportunity to attend this conference, the difference it will make in your day-to-day practice as a teacher, as an educator, and therefore the impact it will have on the kids in their community. So that's all laid out right there. We also wanted to throw out a couple of additional ideas, and this one comes directly from a member who actually used crowdfunding successfully to help cover her expenses to attend annual conference. We thought that was amazing, and we wanted to share it with others for them to consider it as well. And I just wanted to make sure I pointed out that when it comes to lodging, we know that there are many attendees who are looking for roommates to help defer some of those costs. So we have a private Facebook group that we have created, and we invite you to join it and to connect with others who are already planning to attend to see if roommate possibilities might exist for you. This has been a really successful tool in the past. We just really started doing it last year, but it's growing, and we invite you to consider it. So that's what I have today. I really, really hope to see you at our annual conference this year in Atlanta. Please contact us with any questions by emailing marketing@naec.org. And also, please reach out to us with other ideas or successful strategies that you might have tried to raise money to support some of the costs in attending. We love hearing from you. We love the opportunity to share these ideas with others. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for listening today.